If I were Frogan's lawyer, I would want to see surveillance footage from the outside of the building, surveillance footage from the hallway at the times that this person says that they were waiting. Because when I see that number, I'm like, did this person get paid per visit? Were they padding their numbers? Did they ever even go? Like, did they ever even go? This is literally the same thing both days. 3:05, I was able to gain access. 3:15, I was able to gain access. To me, it seems strange that you would do the same thing 3 times in a row, and then you just stood there until 8 a.m.? Is this person dumb? Let's talk about the Frogan situation, because I think something weird is going on. I wonder if something improper is going on that has nothing to do with Frogan. You know me, I am here for open conversation and critical thinking. And when I saw the stuff that was happening with the process server, I was like, this feels weird. This feels weird. Denham's was served on June 24th. Caseytron was served on June 25th, all the way in Missouri. Frogan, it is now July 20th, so almost a month later, and Frogan still has not been served. Someone was served about a week ago on July 14th, but it wasn't Frogan. And they maintain that Frogan does not live there, has not lived there for 6 years. We have some people saying, is she dodging? We have other people saying, was this process server stalking her? And this is really creepy? Or is it a third or fourth or fifth thing? We're not sure. But let's just look at the information we have. Shout out to Lust. Does he go by Lust or L-U-S? I linked all of the videos in the description that I have used, that I'll be using tonight. And so here is this one where Lust talks about the fourth attempt that this process server made to reach Frogan with papers. Thank you, Della. All right, so here we go. I just find this really interesting. On top of let me do 1.5 because he does talk kind of slow. Let's read it and hear it, and then we'll talk about it.
Like at 7:14, this is a much more normal time, in my opinion. At 7:14 at 6:12 p.m.
Yeah, see, the other 3 times were at 2 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. And I think it was 3, 4, 5, 3 days in a row. Or before the holiday, it was 1, 2, and then 5 because of the July 4th holiday. And then 10 days later, this person tries a 4th and final time to serve. And this time goes for 6 p.m., like a normal time. And first people were saying why is this happening so late at night? Why are they trying in the middle of the night? And I think that's a valid question. I don't think it's been confirmed. The reason they would have gone there at strange hours is because of the time she streams at. And that is something that I found. So I asked ChatGPT some questions. How long does Frogan, the female Twitch streamer, usually stream for? Because the first time I asked, it was saying that she was a man. So I wanted to make sure it was the right person. In the past 30 days, Frogan has streamed a total of blah, 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 4 hours and 37 minutes per day. And then I looked up when she usually goes live, although she hasn't been live in a while. At this point, and this is saying she usually goes live at 9 p.m. Eastern, even though she is in LA, which I don't know if that's weird, why she would put it in Eastern time. Well, if Denham's confirmed, okay, but it's been a weird, there's some weird shit going on. So yeah, usually if she starts at 9, she usually finishes then around 2 a.m. Eastern time, right? 1 or 2 a.m. But sometimes she'll go for 11 hours. It looks like the last one was July 17th, so maybe she wasn't on break yet, if this is right. Only AB can find her. He knows Michigan, right? So she goes for different hours. According to analytics, Frogan's routine is usually 8.5, 6.5, 10.5 hours, right? So if she starts streaming at 9 p.m. Eastern, she is still streaming at 2 in the morning on a lot of days, which, oof. Does she have a day job too? Because that's fucking exhausting. I thought she lived in LA too, and when I saw this, my first thought was, did she go home? Because Michigan is in the Eastern time zone. They're like the edge of the Eastern time zone. So I don't know. I don't know if that's true. She doesn't live in Michigan anymore, but maybe she moved back. So yeah, there's tons of speculation. That's what we're doing tonight. We're speculating. We're not totally sure about anything. But so that was my first thing. I was like, why are they going in the middle of the night? This is obviously something that Frogan fans and friends are latching onto, that like this process server was being inappropriate and trying to like get into her apartment at like 2 a.m. But like they're allowed to do that stuff. They're not allowed to like break in, but I mean, I looked into the laws around it, and they are allowed to like slip in behind someone, because that's not necessarily breaking and entering, right? That is like a flaw in the security system of the building. All right, so let's keep reading this. Like, and I mean, you can go back and read it. It's like, it's literally the same process of like breaking into a building, but it's because he's a server. I don't think it counts as that. I had a clear view of the front door, but I was far enough away where I left would not be seen from anybody looking through the peephole. The grammar on these is like so bad, so I really don't know what the deal is. But yeah, like it just says things like I did this to maintain, like so they couldn't see me, and it is really creepy. I positioned myself down the hallway, like it's creepy shit. All right, so but this is the important stuff here. Upon arrival, I could not gain access. The entrance to the building was locked, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into this.
They identified Jane Doe as African-American or Middle Eastern, female in her 40s, 5'6", and 155 pounds, dark, long, curly hair, as well as dark eyes. So in substitute service, so they're saying my job is done.
In substitute service means he did not give it to Frogan. He gave it to someone else who was living at this apartment.
So substituted service, we went over in the last video, means that you don't actually have to do personal service, which is to the person being sued. But as long as there's somebody at home that you think could relay the message, that's fair enough. That's what they did to Casey Tron with Casey Tron's dad.
Right. So they're basically saying that someone answered that knows Frogan, but this person says that they didn't.
Upon arrival, I could not gain access. The entrance to the building was locked. Okay, so we've already gone this. Now, the only big difference here is the timing. So instead of coming at like 2 a.m. in the morning again, it's 6:12. And I heard the doorknob of the Unit 403 make a noise. And
this is what I think is weird, is that they tried 3 times at 2 a.m. even though it didn't work. I don't know why you would try the same time, the middle of the night, 3 times before going at 6 p.m. and just giving it to whoever opened the door. Wait, are we taking her word for it, or is it corroborated by someone?
The door quickly opened. Stepping outside was a darker female, possibly African American or Middle Eastern in her 40s, 5'6", 155 pounds, dark, long, curly hair with dark eyes. I asked if she was Morgan. She said, why? I said, I have legal documents for you, and she said she's not Morgan.
Okay, so she's not Morgan. We know that.
I asked if Morgan lived there, and she said no, that she lived there for 6 years, and there was no Morgan. I asked if she could show ID, showing that she is not Morgan, and she refused. I told her since she won't show ID, that I will be serving her. She refused.
I imagine that's the rule. Like, if they refuse to prove that they aren't the person being served, then that kind of like gives the indication that they are that person. This is from the process. This is the process server's like sworn affidavit about their attempts to serve Frogan with the lawsuit from Ethan.
Refused to take the documents, so I placed them on the front of the door. And this is how much this costs. So how does...
Now here is where I began to wonder, because not all process servers, based on my research today, not all process servers cost this much money. This is a huge fee for a process server that I am aware of. If there are other people who know more about this in the chat, please let me know. But my first thought when I saw this huge sticker on this, and the fact that the person tried, let's see, where's the other ones? Come on, where is it? Damn, there we go. So first and second, also 2:30 a.m. Why would you try the same time twice? Because even if Frogan is working at that time, It's the middle of the night and she lives in a building with a locked door and intercom. So you just have to hope somebody comes out at 3 a.m. to let you in. And then you go back and do that again, do the same thing the next day? So my wonder is, so they try 3 times, and then the 4th time they go a completely different time, and they have success because, duh, it's not the middle of the night. So I will say my speculation is that this server is doing some illegal shit, is like doing improper things, is being unethical. I'm not sure what kind of proof they have besides this, but they should have some. Yeah, why 2 a.m.? Exactly. And I mean, people have said, well, that's when she's working. Okay. But to know that she's in a locked building and know that you might just be standing out there with your thumb up your ass because no one comes out of the building at 4 or 5 or 2, 3, 4 or 5 in the morning. What a waste of your time. So if I were Frogan's lawyer, like I know anything, right? If I were Frogan's lawyer, I would want to see surveillance footage from the outside of the building at those times, surveillance footage from the hallway at the times that this person says that they were waiting in the hallway or at the door. Because when I see that number, I'm like, did this person get paid per visit? Were they padding their numbers? Did they ever even go? Like, did they ever even go? This is literally the same thing both days. 3:05, I was able to gain access. 3:15, I was able to gain access. To me, it seems strange that you would do the same thing 3 times in a row. 3:07, I was able to gain access. And then you just stood there until 8 a.m.? Is this person dumb? If this is... what do you think their job is? They're very bad at it if this is what they're doing. If they're just trying to find the person the same way 3 times, it doesn't work. This is what I'm saying. I feel like they go at a bad time on purpose to get more money, or they say that they're going and they don't. And that was my hunch, and it's still a hunch. It's not proven or anything, but I think that I think Frogan's lawyer has reason to ask for more proof from this person if there isn't photo evidence or anything else, which this Lust does not show. So I'm assuming he doesn't have it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? But so I just looked up some different articles about 5 signs your process server has lied. Well, there's consistent documentation, right? But how do we know it actually ever happened? Like, he wrote a lot, or they wrote a lot, but we don't know if it actually happened. Like, we have inconsistent documentation, conflicting statements. A red flag is when the process server statements conflict with other evidence or records. For instance, if the server claims they made an attempt at a specific time, but security footage or eyewitness accounts contradict their statement, it's a clear indication of dishonesty. So what other footage, what other proof do we have that this person was there? I don't know. No proof of presence. Another concerning sign is lack of proof that the process server was at the locations they claim. Professional process servers should be able to provide evidence of their presence, such as GPS data or time-stamped photographs. And maybe all of this exists, but just based on the video, based on the exorbitant amount of money that this person is charging as a registered California process server, it's interesting to me. Repeated no contact attempts is another sign that they're lying. Multiple attempts. While it's common for process servers to make several attempts, repeated claims of no contact without any supporting evidence can be suspicious. If the server repeatedly claims that no one was home or that they were unable to make contact, it may be worth investigating further. Lack of effort to contact. It says that there's effort, right? But this is the piece, right? It's like, why did they try the same thing 3 times? And why was that thing 2 o'clock in the morning when they could have very well been just locked out of the apartment until 8 a.m., right? just sitting there while Frogan potentially was just sleeping. Why would you do that? And I found it on multiple things. What makes service invalid in California? So, I mean, her lawyer, if this is true, if my hunch is true, her lawyers could say that it was invalid service. The affidavit of service contains false information. Like if the guy wasn't, or the person was never there, if they didn't actually go at 2 a.m. and wait outside the building, which I assume if there is, like a lock on the door and a buzzer and all that, there might be cameras that could show that. That could be considered false information, right? And then again, maintaining accurate documentation is the role of honesty in effective process servicing. Dishonest actions like falsifying service documents, serving the wrong people, and lying about the inability to locate defendants. I will say that, yeah, we don't have any proof that that's what's going on, but it just seems weird. It seems weird that he went 3 times at the exact same time when the first time didn't work out. And then the final time, first of all, huge gap here. Maybe they were on vacation. Didn't seem like they were really in a rush to get this done. And to be charging that much, I feel like that feels like there's a rush charge put in there. But again, what do I know? So yeah, I just think it's weird. I don't know how y'all are feeling about this. How would an invalid service affect the lawsuit? I think it would delay it at least. Does anyone know where Luss found this document? Maybe he linked it in the description. Let's find out. I imagine it's all public information, but who knows? Why is this being so weird? Oh, here we go. Okay, let me see. Let's see what's in the description. Although a lot of YouTubers I find do not use... Are you interested in working for a small marketing agency? What the fuck is happening here? Yeah, I don't understand. I think it should be best practice and it should be like required that if you're referencing things, you should put the docs in the description. It's really not hard. Like, what are we doing, Luss? What are we doing? So yeah, I don't know. This just feels weird to me. And like, yes, I think Frogan should be sued, but I also am now seeing that whoever this processor is, I feel like they kind of gave Frogan's lawyers a little something to chew on, right? And maybe delay things. And let's see. I mean, we can see if we can find out what happens if that. Okay, let's see. If you believe service was improper, you should first obtain and review the affidavit of service. That's what this is. This is an affidavit of service. Where were we? Here. Gather as any evidence that contradicts the service claim, such as your receipts proving you were elsewhere. An attorney can help you file a motion to quash service if violations occurred. Yeah, because I think once you're served, everything's in motion. So if you're not doing what you need to do to remain in the good graces of the court after being served, then you're liable. So I think this... You kind of need to know if something messed up was going on, so you can say the service was invalid, it was done improperly and dishonestly, and it needs to be done again. So I don't know if Frogan was dodging. Was that even her address? Was that even her correct address? And who did he give this to? Let's see. She's lived there for 6 years, and there is no Morgan. I ask her if she's Morgan, and she asks why. I mean, I might ask why if some random dude rolled up to my door as I was opening it and asked me that question, because I'm like, am I about to get another woman in trouble? Am I about to get another woman stalked or something? Like, she doesn't know who this person is at all. So maybe because I'm paranoid, right? I feel like I would ask questions too. I would not just, just give this guy the information he wanted. I would say no immediately. Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, being confused, you never know what you would say first. Saying why suggests she knows Morgan. It could. I mean, it's circumstantial, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, nothing in this tells me that he served a substitute for Frogan. She didn't confirm she was Frogan. She didn't confirm she wasn't Frogan. She didn't reveal who she was. She didn't show her ID and refused to take the documents. She said, "I'm not Morgan. You can speak to the management." Yeah, she probably thinks it's like someone else's mail, but who knows? She's sold. Wait, you think Frogan sold her place? Is that what you're saying? Although my brother's name is Morgan, so I'd assume it's for him. Well, yeah, there you go. And then, yeah, you'd say no. You'd be like, duh, that's my brother, right? Wouldn't he have to travel from California? Doesn't she live in California? This doesn't say where she was when she got served. The Thai bot, thank you so much.
THB 200.
Thank you.
Cool gal, I appreciate the streams. You much deserve your success and I appreciate your perspective. This and not $200.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you so much. I thought she was in Michigan. As far as I knew, and Les says it in his videos, because he's been covering this stuff in very short videos, which is really nice. So you guys should go watch them if you want to catch up on things. As far as I know, Denham's and Frogan both got sued in LA, and Casey Tron is in Missouri. So I am assuming they were trying to serve her in LA. But now seeing that she's got her streaming set for Eastern, I don't know if that's anything. I've never seen Frogan stream before. I've never seen this page before. But if you live in LA, I don't know why you would put things in Eastern time. Unless she knows a lot of her audience is in Dearborn. AB said she moved to LA. That's right. She came out here, or came out there. I'm a little hesitant to make the assumptions based on this video because I can't find the doc online. Interesting, Jacob. Did you look up affidavit of service? Maybe he says in the beginning where he got it from. Let's find out.
Hey guys, today we are going to talk about what happens if the person you're trying to sue is avoiding service, meaning that to sue somebody, you have to serve them with the lawsuit. Now, if the person that you are trying to serve is making it very difficult for you to give them the papers, what are the options you have? Now, first and foremost, let's go over the 4 times this individual has tried to serve.
Yeah, he doesn't really give context for it. I just cannot fathom Ethan's lawyers would use a process server who doesn't know what they're doing or would leave any scope of action that could affect the lawsuit. I hope that's true. But also, you don't always know who you're hiring for things, right? And everything is like contracted out a lot of the time. Like, I'm not just like process servers. I'm talking like everything in the world. People end up like contracting shit out and the quality of everything goes down. You know what I mean? She could have moved back last week, last month, yesterday. How would we know? Yeah. So maybe it was in Michigan. I have no idea. He says where he got it from in the video with all 3 docs. Oh, let's go find that. Let's see. Let's do videos here. Denham's Casey Tron. Is it this one here? Yeah, I think it's this one. I don't want to, YouTube. I don't want to. Okay.
Hey guys, so a very interesting update. An update that I did not expect, but this makes sense because they're free defendants. But the reason that these cases are moving at different speeds is how each individual is handling service, right? Being served. So before you can sue somebody, you have to serve them with the paperwork. Otherwise, they don't get notification, and they can make the argument, I just didn't know I was being sued. So Denham's giving her credit, the reason that her case is so much further along than Frogan, for instance.
Denham's being served was $400. Oh, here's so this is it. All right. So I served copies of the summons. It doesn't say how many times they went. So I imagine, I mean, because they don't have the affidavit of service here, I'm imagining that it just happened after one time, and that's why. Look, $400 something for one time. I really feel like that dude might have been padding his numbers, but maybe that's just me. Hi, Andromeda. That sounds great. The price difference makes me feel like Frogan made attempts to dodge. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, did she dodge, or was this guy either unintentionally terrible at his job, or was he intentionally phoning it in? Like, we have a thing that's happened here in Massachusetts, I think it was a couple years ago, where the state troopers, the state police, were putting in like hundreds of hours of overtime that they were not doing. Like, it was a organization-wide problem of all of these cops lying about how much overtime they did. And as we know, overtime, you get paid more. So they stole like hundreds of thousands of dollars from Massachusetts taxpayers. So do I think that a process server is above padding the numbers? No. Do I think that Frogan might have dodged? Maybe. I don't really see the purpose of that. Exactly. Imagine getting a knock on the door at 3 a.m. I'm not answering that. 1,000,000%. Because even if I am somebody who is like working in the middle of... Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Even if I'm someone who works in the middle of the night, I do not expect other people to be knocking on my door. Right? That's not normal visiting hours. And he didn't try at a normal time the first time. So it's not like I'm assuming the service process server is a man. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but he didn't even try a normal time once before going directly to 2 a.m. Okay, Alex says to check Discord chat. Please hold a moment, folks. Someone on Reddit thinks this is why Frogan was served in the middle of the night. All right, let me see. Stream overview. Because she streams at that time? Is that what you're saying? This is what Alex is showing me. This is like, I'm trying to see, 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m. Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe, yeah. Like, but I don't know. I would still be like, man, I don't want to be up at 2 a.m. I can probably catch her at 5 when she gets off. That's like a slightly more reasonable time. The price difference might include a private eye fee for tracking them down. Ooh, the private eye may have determined late night was the best time to find them there. Thank you very much, Ayusar.
Determined late night was the best time
or
to find them there.
OCR? So I don't know. Look at this. My braid is like totally fucking up and giving me a shark. Olsen & Olsen Mystery Agency. Yeah, so I don't really know. We don't have an answer right now. Maybe an answer will come out soon, but like this is the info that I have, and I will just say that I don't think that a process server is like inherently good and wouldn't do something to make extra money. So I'm saying that there's like I think that there could be a reasonable suspicion that none of this even happened if it's not confirmed that she's been served. But someone said that Denham's confirmed it. So I think anytime I saw my parents answer the door at that time, they had a gun in their hand just in case. Exactly. It wouldn't surprise me if she believes dodging will mean she doesn't get sued. Like, that's just so dumb. I hope that she has like parents or like family that would tell her not to do that. I don't know. I feel like anybody, I don't know, maybe not anybody is smart enough to know that like dodging being served is a bad idea. The server is stupid if they think going at 2 a.m. is the best time. That's what I'm saying. Like, are they stupid or are they just assuming no one will check the records and padding it? So instead of getting $500 for one time, they get $2,500 for 4 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, am I totally off base for thinking that this is like a little bit fishy on both sides? If she can't be served, they have different things that you can do. You can, I think Lust talks about it in his video, but I've watched so many things today about it. You can do it by mail, I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. And then apparently, if that doesn't work, you can put an ad in their local paper. Like in the paper, and that's like the last ditch effort. And it's like, it's kind of assumed that they would see it. So then at that point, they're being like negligent and actually dodging. And then I guess, then there's some sort of a You can serve them on social media. Oh shit, interesting. And then there's some kind of consequence. I don't know. I'm not a legal person, but yeah, definitely watch Lust or Legal Mindset for like the nitty gritty stuff. But I will say that just made me wonder. It made me wonder like what was going on. Oh, the problem is that for Frogan, is that she already knows she's being sued. It's in her GoFundMe. Right. Yes. Thank you, Ludwig Horsecock. That is a problem. So they can't say they didn't know it was coming, right? They can't say they didn't know it was coming. So it does all seem like she's dodging.